Here's a quick sneak peek into the incredibly valuable buy and sell guidance I provide on cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and on gold and silver that I deliver to my SK Wealth Academy patrons. What is good, ladies and gentlemen? It's Tuesday morning. Let's talk cryptos today because cryptos have been selling off. Bitcoin in the last 24 hours has sold off a little more than the risk and high risk assets, and crypto certainly among them because of the massive price volatility can be mitigated as long as one can understand when to buy such assets at a low risk, high reward point, to sell when risk is high and reward is low, so sell at a high risk, low reward point, and to rebuy when prices descend to another low risk, high reward point. Now, you've seen this in action with all my Bitcoin buying and selling guidance within the past year. You've seen it in action most recently with my call option strategies on the GOD and SLV, because typically call option strategies are very, very risky, but you can mitigate a lot of that risk by buying at the right price point, and we made over 100% on the GLD call options and high double digit on the SLV call options in just a few trading days. Now, this is all documented as far as my Bitcoin buying guidance within the last 12 months. I said I actually posted a video on my now dormant YouTube channel, SK Wealth Academy Space Podcast. You can go back to November 2020. I actually titled the video Bitcoin to Soar 2021, said buy Bitcoin at $20,000. Then and that was entirely based not upon technical analysis. I don't know why people think technical analysis can work in Bitcoin. It's just their charts being painted by the bankers. It's not predictive. And that's my feeling with all technical chart analysis, with stocks, with bonds, with everything. It's the bankers leading the herd into behavior that they want manifested, which is called painting the charts. So if you never heard of that term, then you really don't understand much about manipulation. So my buy guidance when Bitcoin was $20,000 in November of 2020, just about a year ago, was entirely based upon my observation of the big whales and the Bitcoin community positioning in the futures market to really ramp up prices. And once they did and started really taking profits, I issued a sell guidance right here on a Daily Lens video on my Patreon platform at $58,000 in the first quarter of this year. And sure, it was a little premature as Bitcoin hit a high of 65,000. I said sell it around 58,000. But I said sell because I saw, again, action of the big whales preparing to take prices down. And then I remained silent on any buying guidance until Bitcoin finally went below $30,000. So although I failed to call the exact high, I called almost the exact bottom, saying Bitcoin should be bought at around $29,000 and change. So if you follow that guidance, right? My buy guidance in November 2020, my sell in the first couple months of this year, and then the repurchase when Bitcoin dipped below 30,000 into the 29,000 range, that would have produced an average price of Bitcoin for you at about $10,300. So, is Bitcoin crashing because it dumped? How much did it dump? It dumped like $7,000 or so in a few hours? No, that's just, again, mass media hype because they want to get clicks. They say Bitcoin's crashing because anyone that followed my guidance for the past year for Bitcoin would have an average purchase price of less than $10,500 per Bitcoin. So I wouldn't consider Bitcoin crashing until it pulls back to, say, $15,000 or so. In conclusion, did Bitcoin crash today in price? Hell no. Is Bitcoin a revolutionary money that can free the world and especially help the poorest people in the world climb out of poverty? Hell no to that question as well. And I know that that opinion of mine really throws a lot of crypto advocates into a hissy fit. But, with Million Coin, when it was trading at $78 per coin, I put that in a podcast that is on my Patreon platform forever. And I predicted that Million Coin, because it's a complete fraud, would crash to $1 by the end of October. Did it do that? No, it crashed to around 16 or 17. It lost 78% of its price from the point I said it would go back to $1. And even then, it rebounded to around, I think it was around 25, 26, and I think now it's trading around $22. It doesn't deserve to be $22. It deserves to be $1 because it's a complete fraud. And I'm still standing by the fact that Million Coin will go to $1. Okay, now I got to extend out my timeline probably by early 2022 because it's a complete fraud. So just because people make money off of crypto, whether it's Dogecoin, Million Coin is a definite fraud, then it does not mean it's legitimate and can free the world from our corrupt, immoral banking system. Because as you know, for weeks on end, once Bitcoin prices made new high, I said, I don't like the risk reward setup anymore. And even if there's not one last parabolic spike, which definitely would elevate Bitcoin into a very high risk, low reward status, even if it hovers around here. I've been talking about how I still feel, because we don't know when the central banking cartel can gum down with regulations and put the hammer either on Bitcoin or Tether or any of these other crypto coins, that it could happen at any time. I've been stating for weeks on end that risk is real. So act accordingly, knowing that this isn't like a year ago when Bitcoin was 20,000, when I said risk is low, reward is high. It's not even like the first quarter of this year when Bitcoin dropped after making highs of 65,000. The price got cut by more than half and it dropped to 29,000. And I reissued buying guidance then. It's not like either of those times at this point. So just be aware. Okay, that's all. Always remain intensely curious. Have a great day. So long.